Hi guys, welcome back, and now we're going to get into the adverts of buying cars. So obviously there's hundreds and hundreds of adverts. I'm not going to pick on any one type of car or any one type of advert. It's all what you want to know, and reading what you don't want to read and what you do want to read. So obviously you always want to hear full service history. You obviously want to hear well looked after, and if it's a higher mileage car, you want to see that things have been done, clutches, flywheels, turbos, whatever else. If it's a lower mileage car, you want to check its MOT history, all of the above, to make sure the mileage matches up and there's no big jumps, gaps, to make sure it's genuine. Now, before I get right into the advert, what you do need to do before anything else is take a mechanic to buy a car. Try not to go on your own. If you go on your own, then watch the rest of these so you know at least what to look for and how to read people. But if you can, take someone with you that knows what they're looking at, because it will save you thousands. And also take someone that has absolutely no interest in the car you're buying, because you are going to be all excited and giddy about the car you're buying because it's what you want. So you tend to overlook issues that you normally wouldn't overlook. So always take someone that has absolutely no interest in your car whatsoever. So they'll look at it from a pair of eyes that isn't kind of, oh my God, it's my favourite car. And that is always the best thing. So even if you take someone that knows nothing about cars, they will still pick up on little things that you won't, just because you just want that car. Anyway, so say you're buying, I use a diesel because I have diesels, and I buy more diesels than petrols. So what you want to hear is well maintained, all of regular service, just had tyres or not, as the case may be. But what you don't want to hear, which I see in adverts all the time, really fast for what it is. So straight away that tells you that owner drives that car like a cretin, because why would they even comment how fast the car is? Unless, like, you don't care, you know that car, you know what it is, you know how fast or slow that car is. So the fact that they're basically boasting that it's a really fast car means that car has been driven hard. So straight away that's a concern. So if it's been driven hard, driven fast, how well looked after is it? How worn out is it? Have they let it warm up properly? People that tend to talk about cars in those ways don't tend to look after cars that well. You want a car that's been babied and looked after, because you don't want to buy an absolute money pit. And cars that have been treated badly, not warmed up, ragged to death, tend to be money pits. And the other thing you've got to think to yourself is, why are they selling the car? Is it a genuine reason or is it not? Now, I always say no one sells a car for no good reason. Normally you've got a big bill coming, so you've been thinking about buying a car for ages, you think, but I just can't justify it. And then you put the car in for a service or whatever you do, an MOT, and the mechanic or the MOT tester goes, oh, you're right this year, but you got a big bill coming next year because you got rust, or something's starting to break, or something's getting tired. And then you think to yourself, sod it, rather than sinking 500, 600, maybe £1,000 into this car, why don't I put that money towards a new car and just sell it? So that is a very big one to think about. So it's a good question to ask, why are you selling the car? And if they say, oh, I've got a company car, whatever else, that's all well and good, but then when you go to buy the car, that company car should be in their drive. If it isn't, they were lying. Something might be wrong with the car. It's little things like that that make a big difference. And that's why I say you've got to read between the lines with certain things with buying a car. So, right, it's a really fast car. You don't want to ever read that in an advert. I would advise, if someone comments on the speed of that car, sorry, it's gone really dark, we're in the woods, taking the dogs for a walk. So yeah, if someone says that, I personally wouldn't even bother going and looking at it. Even if it's the perfect car, the perfect age, the perfect mileage for you, I think personally that's a bad move, because not all people, but why would you comment on how fast the car is? So that's that one. Another one I see a lot is selling due to emigration. Well, there must be an awful lot of people emigrating, because that always seems to be a good kind of one to sell a car on quickly, and it's cheap because they've got to go now and not, you know, in 6 months time. So the car is incredibly cheap for what it is. But the reason, you know, it's cheap is because it's cheap for a reason, not because they're emigrating. There's a big problem with it, which they don't want to deal with, so they try and move it on. And another one I see a lot of, and I mean a lot of, is there's a warning light on the dash. It's only a cheap fix. The garage said all it needs is this. Well, if it was a cheap fix and it was easy to do, why haven't they done it? You'd think if it was cheap, you would do it, because it's easier to sell a car with no warning lights on the dash. So if there's a warning light on the dash and they say it's cheap, walk away, because it isn't cheap, because they would have already done it. So that's a few little idiosyncrasies that we'll take out of adverts for now, and definitely walk away, because it's your money, your hard-earned money. Save it, go for another car. There's always plenty of cars to buy. Don't rush buying a car just because you feel like you need to have a car, because that's the worst type of car to buy, because you tend to make mistakes because you're rushing. So I'll leave that at that for now, because it's gone long enough. And let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, or if you had any of the same situations. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.